Day 2 of our southern Utah adventure begins at sunrise near Factory Butte. We photograph some stunning morning light, then quickly head a few miles east to check out a bonus location where a fellow photographer is doing a fashion shoot at Moonscapes Overlook. Eventually, we make our way along an incredible 16-mile scenic drive, reaching the heart of Cathedral Valley. So it is the morning of day 2 of this southern Utah road trip, and the early morning light is starting to pop off. The sun is slowly rising to the east, but there is a little bit of cloud on the horizon, so we're not getting that direct golden light on the butte itself, not yet anyways. I think maybe 15-20 more minutes, there'll be a small gap in the clouds and some light will peek through and we'll get some really amazing shots. But I'm still at the location that has these massive black rocks, maybe grayish, dark gray. And I'm up on this little hillside here because the butte is just in front of me here. And I kind of have it framed by this this right side edge of these kind of dark gray rocks. And then the butte itself should be lit up with some golden color, and that'll make a nice contrast for the photo. Now, off to the left side, I have just a bunch of lines coming up from that kind of drainage area that's off to the left that all lead up towards the butte itself. So I think it'll make for a pretty dynamic image once that light starts. Day number 2 is off to a killer start. Man, when that sun came out, that drone footage looked so cool with all those like ripples in the washway from the butte itself. So incredible. Now we're headed to actually a bonus spot this morning called Moonscapes Overlook. I was talking with another traveler yesterday afternoon, and he mentioned this place that's just literally across the main road. So I'm gonna go check that out while the sun is still relatively low in the sky, and see what kind of images we can get there, because it really is a bonus location. Let's see what we can find. This was a fantastic recommendation. You can see these beautiful cliffs back here, and these nice little towers all along here have incredible light this early morning. This actually would have been a fantastic sunrise spot, but being that it's so early in the day, I'm getting some fantastic images. In a minute here, I'm going to launch the drone. I think we'll get some epic footage. Cool location. I'm glad that guy recommended it. Well, we are back on the road heading towards our final destination today, which is going to take several hours because ultimately we're heading into the Cathedral Valley on the north end of Capitol Reef National Park, headed towards the Temples of the Sun and Moon. And I think along the way there's going to be a lot of things to look at, explore, and photograph. So it's about 11 o'clock now, so we're on the road. And it's actually a really decent road so far. I stopped and talked to a couple of big rig overland vehicles that were leaving, and they said the road is awesome, pretty much the whole loop if you were going to take it. And I don't know how much I'm going to do. I'm definitely going up to the Sun and Moon, and we'll see. Today is shaping up to be pretty dang beautiful. More clouds in the sky today than there were in the last day and a half. So very excited about that. I hope those continue to build and we get some killer photos for sunset and throughout the day today. So let's hit the road. We got places to go. Right, not a bad drive. Beautiful countryside all along there, and quite challenging, especially for photography, because the area is just so vast. It makes for difficulty in just kind of showing scale and that kind of thing. But we're at the kind of final destination, if you will. First stop is this amazing location behind me here called Glass Mountain. We're going to check that out because it looks incredible. And then you can see back here the showstoppers, Temple of the Sun, Temple of the Moon. Very excited about looking and photographing at those two amazing structures. So let's check out Glass Mountain, then we'll head over. So I've been looking around this Glass Mountain for a little while now, and it is so impressive and unique. I'm not quite sure how to photograph it because in essence, it's this conglomerate of these glass type stones with these interesting layers and colors. And then you have all of this like mud and dirt mixed in. So it's kind of muddy as an image. It's not really something that really pops. And so the grand scheme picture, I don't think will do this thing any justice because it just kind of looks like a brown hill when you photograph it that way. So what I'm doing is I'm focusing in on these intricate patterns that are created with the glass and the dirt and the different angles in which they all meet each other. Very, very interesting. Loving these abstract images. So I'm going to continue kind of work in this area because it's been a lot of fun. The grain of this glass almost resembles like wood, so it's very fascinating depending on what little section you photograph. So let me show you a few of those images from just shooting around this place for details. Well, I've been walking around scouting the Temple of the Sun and the Moon, and I gotta tell you, they are spectacular from just about every angle. However, you need to get a little bit further away if you want to show how dynamic and massive they are within this landscape. So what I did was I found this really cool spot. Let me show you here on a map of how to get here because it's a little bit tricky to get to. And there is no, trail system or even a marked trail. You might see a few footprints heading back in there, but I got to tell you, the views from there are incredible. So let's get back in there and I'll show you some cool compositions. That's where we're headed, right up there. About a half a mile later, you end up between this massive rock, cathedral style as well, and then this is the Temple of the Moon, smack dab in the center. Now, I'm probably about 50 to 100 feet back from this opening, and it makes for a fantastic image. However, if you turn around 180 degrees, there's a bunch of nice hills you can climb up and get a little bit more distance, so you can get the two foreground cathedrals in the shot, as well as Temple of the Moon. And I'll show you a couple images from there, but let me show you how to compose an image at this location. So what is so great about this location is you get a sense of symmetry when you align the Temple of the Moon within these two cathedrals on the left and the right side. And all you need to do to get that nice symmetry is move around kind of left to right, as we've talked about in the past, giving a little bit of breathing room to left and right sides, and getting that Temple Moon right in the center. It makes for a fantastic final image. I'm using a 24-105 lens at 24 millimeters. It actually provides a real nice frame for the final image. You could go wider, or you can go further back to get more of the foreground cathedrals in the frame. Here's that final image now. Here's the view from that upper location. You can see all four cathedrals in the same image. It's spectacular. How fantastic has day two been here in southern Utah? Checking out these incredible locations, just like our final destination today, Cathedral Valley. I had a blast doing the scenic drive and exploring all of these amazing locations. Hope you have too, and I hope a few things have made it onto your bucket list for your next road trip. Make sure you check out day one if you haven't already. Otherwise, I'll see you on that next adventure.